Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Fourth and Go podcast. I know it's been a little minute, and it looks like we're having some issues. Oh, what do you know? Um, while we've been off socials and traveling, um, we forgot to renew our premium membership on our Fourth and Go X account. So it is what it is. It's like $4 a month or something crazy like that. Ignore the facial hair. I'm gonna give myself a haircut today, so look a little cleaner after the show. Going into our show tomorrow. Um, but how's everybody doing? I know it's been kind of a I would say a quiet-ish week, but with the recent news that we've been running into, of the potential of LSU bringing back Jack Pyburn, especially in a time where they've had a couple of players get nicked up, hurt, and things like that in practices, seems to be a little bit more um, of an option. So, excuse me as I get my mic fixed. I'm trying to make sure that it's in a good place. So, um, but we're talking about the court ruling, how it affects both college basketball as well as college football. We will be going into, you know, what exactly that entails because there's some specific kind of rules and specific requirements that you have to meet in order to get into that. And then we're also going to talk about a couple other things. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hopefully, you guys are all doing great. If you're not doing great, I hope that there's a way that this show can help you do so this morning as we try to continue to bring that energy, bring that fire, and get ready for the start of our football season. And as we quickly approach week 0, I mean, y'all got to think going into this week, Monday, we're in week 0. So I think that we need to be aware of that, that's I was about to have a pause moment already, but it's coming around to us fast, right? Pause. So just keep that in mind, right? I also dropped the link in the bio for all of those who are joining. If you've never watched us before, go check us out. Check out the shows. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. I got some feedback from somebody that my mom knows recently that the first couple shows that I did, were in. But now that I'm getting into it and I'm becoming more consistent, the shows start to have their own fire. Um, but bear with me for one moment because I just need to. They always get on me for not sharing my show with my other account. So let me get that rolling and I will get y'all situated. And if y'all don't know, I am a part of the Everything You network as well now as well. Um, So make sure that you guys go check them out. Also, if you haven't already, follow LSU Everything you at or at LSU Everything you on Instagram. I will be making Twitter accounts and I'll be making some more socials today sometime. So make sure y'all go check us out real quick and we're about to get started. So this morning we're going to start off by talking about Jack Pyburn, um, and what has been this eligibility earthquake that kind of has resonated throughout all of college football and really shaken the way that athletes, coaches, and everybody really looks at this world. Um, I think what we're struggling to comprehend is why would you want to come back from the NFL back to college? That's been a lot of the narrative that's been pushed this last week is why should any player that has signed an NFL contract or an NBA contract be allowed to come back to college sports, right? Um, and I will say from my viewpoint, they kind of have a point. But at the same time, you can't change rules and expect for those players in that class to just lose a year of eligibility based on the rules that you change, right? This has everything to do with the NCAA's new ruling where, 5 years or 5 seasons or 5 years to play, in general, right? Transfers, no transfers, whatever, right? Um, but it all really so a Louisiana judge granted Jack Pyburn as well as 15 other athletes an injunction against the NCAA, allowing them to essentially it's injunction slash temporary restraining order that will allow them to come back and play another season based on the new rule that allows them to have 5 years um, of eligibility to play 5 seasons, some of which did not have a chance to do that. So that door has been now swung open. The bigger picture is that it's not just college football. This kind of started with college basketball. So, a Colorado case produced a class wide preliminary injunction allowing former members of the 2022 class who exhausted their fourth year of eligibility or their fourth season to seek a fifth year in 2026, 2027. But that ruling didn't open up the transfer portal. So, essentially saying, hey, basketball, the one that was in basketball, mostly focused on the 2022, that were originally did not allow them to transfer. Now, this one, the Louisiana case, where they've gone and they've filed for that in the state, has allowed these 16 athletes to be able to have a 1 week transfer portal window where they can go and they can have like a ghost transfer rule. Okay. So what does that mean for us? And I was watching um Blake kind of talk about it last night. I was listening to Blake kind of talk about it last night and what does it mean for the schools that need depth? So what we've seen a lot in the NFL and in college this offseason has been injuries. A lot of players going down, getting hit a little harder in practice. We're starting to ramp up and they're starting some of these injuries are starting to rise, like getting stingers and MCL strains and ACL strains and all this other stuff, right? So, um, with that being said, there's been this kind of strategic, and I'm going to get into this, but this strategic use of the yellow non-contact jersey. But I want to leave that subject for our next subject as we kind of roll into our next factors. But think of what this means for LSU. So let's say that Jordan Ross is injured. Let's just say that, and I'm going to knock on wood because for right now, there's no news that that's the case. But let's just say that that was to happen, or let's say that Gabe Relaford was your one, backup defensive end. Now you have the opportunity, and it doesn't mean that Jack Pyburn has to come back to LSU. He does not have to do that. He is eligible to play no matter where he transfers. Period. But I think it's interesting that they filed for this in the state. Just saying, right? Like keep that in mind because whenever it was filed in Colorado, the player didn't go to Colorado. The transfer ended up transferring to Texas Tech. So it's interesting. That's interesting, but I don't think that that's the same for LSU. I think that we will be involved and we will have the chance to maybe be engaged with some of these players. And I think probably behind the scenes, I don't know this, but more than likely behind the scenes with this 1 week transfer portal rule, I think it's just a known thing that they definitely are talking to some of these guys that are coming back, right? Um, And so this means that LSU can refill depth where they're missing, and LSU does need it. So at the defensive end position, you need some vets. You can go and get them now. You're going to need cornerback depth. I don't know if there's a corner that filed this in this injunction, but you're going to need that depth, right? Um, but it also helped LSU in regards to the basketball roster as well, because Sky Clark recently committed to LSU, and he was given this second year of or this last year of eligibility because he originally signed with Illinois in 2022. Okay, the debate is going to be this: should the NCAA appeal it? And it sounds like they're already pushing back real hard on it and how broken the system is, right? But y'all created the system. The system is broken because you've consistently screwed players over the last 5 to 10 years and screwed them out of eligibility, screwed players out of money because you didn't want to do pay for play for a long time, and more, right? Is it fair to athletes who were recruited under the old structure? With that being said, the 2021 structure, right? So, like, where you couldn't transfer all the time. If you transferred, you had to sit out and lose a year of eligibility, right? Things like that. Do we expect there to be a bigger wave of transfer portal players? Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on. I need some Zyrtec or something today. My sinuses are all crazy. But it could, there's just a lot of questions with this, and I think a lot of misunderstandings and things that need to be understood that we don't understand, right? So, gosh, my daughter's screaming. Um, but moving on to segment number 2 of this show, and the next subject is the yellow non-contact jersey. And some people are, like, freaking out. "Oh my god, DJ Pickett's hurt. Oh my god, Trey'Dez Green is hurt," "Sam Levitt's been wearing it all practice. Is he okay?" They're fine, right? Relax. These players and these guys, a lot of them are wearing these jerseys so that they don't get worn down, and they're being overly cautious for a Trey'Dez Green, for a DJ Pickett, for a Sam Levitt. Jace Brown, who's been who has had not necessarily had injuries, but then you go and you look at Eugene Wilson. The kid's been injured since he got to Florida. He's one of those guys who might wear a yellow non-contact jersey, and it doesn't mean that he's hurt. It just means that Lane and them are trying to be cautious to protect their star players and protect their depth. Why go, and run 170 plays in a scrimmage just to get somebody hurt? Just to get Witt hurt? Just to get whoever, DJ Pickett, Sam, Ty, whoever. Like, you don't want your stars to get hurt in fall camp. If it happens during the season, it happens. But the least you can do is prepare them for the season and not let them be injured going into it and ruin, let's say, a fifth year senior's year, right? You also have players like Winnie Watkins in those jerseys. You've had Malik Elzy in those jerseys. You've also had Jabari Mack in there. And it's just them being cautious, right? Jabari Mack and Jace Thomas both have had the chance to kind of take on some extra reps as those players go into those jerseys. And like a Eugene Wilson and a Jace Brown have had the chance to separate themselves because, let's say, a Winnie Watkins was out injured for a day or two. I think what we need to do is understand that just because they wear a yellow jersey doesn't mean they're hurt. What it does mean is that Lane understands how extremely valuable they are and how important it is to keep them healthy. And so, sorry, I'm trying to make sure there's nothing popping off on X right now. See if there's any news that drops while we're on here. Because you never know. There could be. It could be that somebody, is I mean, you got Buddha over here putting things or putting things out if Sam Ellinger is overrated. So, but anyway, I think that Lane is being overly cautious, and I think he should be overly cautious. I think he's smart to do that. I do want to say that I think as well that we need to pump our brakes a little bit and understand that, like, do we want DJ Pickett to be hurt going into the season? Do we want all of this? No, we don't. So let's chill. Let's relax. Let's let it be what it is. And let's just get ready for week 1 against Clemson. Lane and this staff have been on top of what they need to handle for weeks, months, probably the last 6 to 8 months since they've been here, right? And so this past week, they got into football, actual football, contact, right? We saw the clips. We saw the sweet throws between the jumping arms of D linemen to Trey'Dez Green from Sam Levitt. And Lane came out and spoke about the 170 plays that they ran, okay, during their first scrimmage, and how he was pretty damn happy about the defense and pretty excited about what the defense did. And he talked about how, the defense had chances to get beat, but they always kind of came back. It let them play this cat and mouse game where Blake can be extra aggressive, Charlie can be extra aggressive, and you can truly get ready for the season. And tempo is going to be part of it. And Charlie running tempo is going to get this defense ready for tempo. Joe Sloan was not able to do that. He lacked the capabilities of that. So now we have a OC that's one of the best and one of the most highly regarded and highly sought after offensive coordinators in the country that is able to come and make your defensive coordinator better. Lane Kiffin praised a couple of things. So you praised the defense's ability to be solid in coverage. Overall, he praised their entire performance, but then also he went and he praised the fact that they were able to get pressure on the QB and make Sam Levitt run. There's some things that should not be talked about and that Lane and them don't want talked about that they've been doing in practices, right? You know, but at the end of the day, I think LSU is in a very good position compared to where maybe some people think they are going into this season. Yes, sir. What up? What up, my brother? Hey, listen, and that's my thing too is like I'm super optimistic for this season as well. I think that we are very well positioned and I think that we're going to have an opportunity to have a lot of success here. Um whereas some people may question, hey, like is LSU going to be able to push towards the future? Is LSU going to be able to have a successful season this year? My answer is yes, quite honestly. You know, um, my answer is yes, 100%, because I think that Lane and them are excited. Lane and them are focused and they're locked into what it's going to take to be successful this year. And I'm trying to see if I could post my live on here, but it is what it is. So yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I think there is a lot of optimism, and I think a lot of it's coming from us too. You know, we've seen the practice reports. We've heard Lane and Charlie, and well, we've heard Lane and Blake talk, not Charlie so much. And we've seen the increase of I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I think we've seen like the influx of success and the building that has been done with Sam, with this offense, with this defense in general. Next, I kind of want to get into Sam Levitt and Harlem Berry and how well they're playing right now. So I noticed that Harlem was running with the twos in the clip that was shared on Instagram. Right, he was taking a snap from Houston Longstreet, took it to the house, got a touchdown, and Harlem's gotten more physical for sure. I think Sam also had a great scrimmage, a great day. Right, um, Lane even said that he moved great during the scrimmage. He praised his ability to use his legs to get out of bad situations. And I think this is my thing. Are we done questioning if Sam Levitt is mobile or if he's not injured? Can we be done doing that? Sam clearly has the ability to escape the pocket, to get going. The kid isn't going to sit in our face and lie and say, "Oh, I'm the healthiest I've been," or "I've been healthy for months now." You don't say things like that if you're not healthy. Okay. You don't say things like that. You beat around the bush. You know, when the questions get asked, kind of similar to Brian Kelly last year, when the questions got asked about Garrett and other players, he would never truly answer it. He'd just be like, "Oh, well, you know, we're evaluating the injury. We're trying to make sure that Garrett's healthy and we want him out there and I think that we need them to play against Southeastern." Brian never gave us a straight answer. The fake banging the table and fake emotion is what he gave us. So, if Sam Levitt stays healthy, can he adapt to SEC defenses every single week? That's the question. And I think that Sam will be fine. I think that Sam has the ability to do a lot more than people are aware of. And ASU fans kind of hating on Sam after they did the same thing to Jaden Daniels is no surprise to me at all whatsoever. Okay, so I kind of want to give us a second because I want to make sure that all of you guys have the chance to go like and subscribe. So I'm going to throw this banner up because I haven't kept the banner up during the shows the last two times. because I think it's a lot going on the screen at one time. So I want to make sure you guys have the chance. So if you guys want to, and I would appreciate if you did, because the one thing we're not going to do, we're not going to sit here and try and boost our following the wrong ways. We're going to do it the right way, and that's with you guys. So if you guys could, we're about we literally need 7 subscribers to get back to 800 or get to 800. We need 200 to get to 1,000 on YouTube. So make sure y'all go and subscribe, go like, comment on the shows. Fourth and Go podcast. You see it right there, right there. Okay. Then make sure that you already see me at Austin Taylor live right now. Go make sure you follow us at Fourth and Go right now. Once I get my streaming services back up with my premium account on my other X, we will be live. We will get things going. I hope that some of you guys are joining from my Fourth and Go account. If you're not, or if you are, let me know in the comments. And if you're commenting through Twitter, I can never see it. I don't know why I can never see it. I can only see YouTube comments most of the time recently. StreamYard has something crazy going on. I know the boys saw that last night, David and Zach. So we are going to figure that out as well. Um, but there's some surprises to this camp period right now. And I think what we're seeing Harlem have some more success as he starts to get more physical, right? And he really did build his body a lot this summer. And I think he's getting ready for it. And I think having Dylan Jones in front of him is going to give him a chance to um let me hold that thought. So this is funny because I'm actually going to be doing a show with two different Clemson podcasters, some big time Clemson podcasters here soon. Funny thing is, I've been talking with Clemson fans, and they have gone from cocky to straight up fear of coming to real Death Valley. I'm not surprised, bro. I posted a clip. And matter of fact, let me see if I could. I posted a clip from Clemson that was originally posted by somebody else. But I posted it, and it was about literally them playing. What was it called? Calling Baton Rouge in their freaking stadium. They're getting ready, bro. I don't know if you truly can be ready because your stadium's nothing like ours, if we're being quite honest. But that's funny. I have some family that's Clemson fans. Being from Georgia, there's a lot of Clemson fans in Georgia. So, um, but we want to kind of talk about some of the surprises of camp. Okay. So, Jace Thomas, our freshman D lineman, Harlan Berry, Sam Levitt's mobility in the defense have all been kind of things that have been talked about heavily. But I think all of those, they all have their own place. Jace is probably the one that's standing out the most. Even Blake Baker said that himself, which was surprising because Jace is a local kid who has the pride for LSU, who can be a star safety at LSU, and he's showing that he's motivated. Tamarcus Cooley's job is not just cush. You can't just sit there and chill while the flames are engulfing your chair. This is not Game of Thrones. We're not melting seats around here. If you're not going to play hard the whole time, you're going to get passed up. If you're going to show out in practices, you're going to get reps, right? And Tamarcus Cooley is a good safety. Okay. Do I think he's a first round talent? Questionable, right? That just depends on what he does this year. I think you have your first round talent next to him and potentially down the road with Deshaun Spears. But at that strong safety spot, full safety spot, you have some. I think that's your strongest room in the entire team. Your running back room is doing really well. Your wide receivers room is great. Tight ends, tight ends is questionable outside of Trey, but I think that Malik Elzy is doing his thing. So we do have or Malachi. I think it might be Malachi Thomas is who I'm talking about, but you do have some good players there. Okay, and some good depth. It's just about how they develop and how they use it. As I'm sitting here watching X go down, it looks like yesterday as well. James Madison linebacker is going to be entering the transfer portal as well. Dude was amazing. Um, oh shit. So 42 minutes ago, Pete Nakos from a repost from Shay Dixon. SEC intra-conference rules currently remain in place and state that athletes can transfer inside the conference within their sport. Regular NCAA transfer windows immediately following the sports championship segment. SEC commissioner sent a memo reminding schools of this earlier this month. This is on the wake of Xavier Harris entering the transfer portal. And the question that I asked, not to make it an Ole Miss thing, I thought you wanted to play for Pete, bro. I thought Pete Golding was the man because you came out and spoke against Lane Kiffin, but now you're re-entering the transfer portal because the Saints didn't want you. So now you're coming back to college sports. You never know. He might end up at LSU. I don't know anything. I'm just saying he might. You don't want didn't want to play for Lane when he left, but you never know. He might want to come play for Blake. You ain't got to talk to Lane. Get paid that money. Come dominate inside that defensive line. But anyway, I'm just talking shit. So you've had some standouts and some players who have had the opportunities to um sorry, I'm trying to get a new intro made for my podcast too, and I'm talking to somebody to get that done for y'all as well. Y'all have noticed that we took the other intro out. The reason why we took that intro out is because of two reasons. Number one, I don't feel like it was made well. Paid for it, don't feel like it was made well. Number two, I also have been having to take the audio out of it for YouTube videos for whenever we get to 1,000 subscribers and we can get monetized. I want to make sure that we don't have that limit us. So I'm making sure that that doesn't happen, right? Um, but anyway, I kind of want to this is a shorter show today. Tomorrow's show will be longer. We're trying to get back in the hang in the swing of things as we are getting back to podcasting. As the week starts to ramp up and the shows start to get, a little bit more dedicated in time and filled with information and knowledge. I think right now we're kind of in a quiet period. Like I'm checking X all day long. The most you're getting from LSU is artists at work and getting some beautiful pictures from our LSU sports accounts, right? Um, oh my God. Okay, I was about to say, Jalen Brewster posted something at 7 p.m. He said, home at 7 p.m. He's playing a football game today. Um, anyways, I was about to start tripping, but let's see what we can get done. Okay. Um, let's see if we can close down some of these players. Let's see if we can get some players in the transfer portal. That's what I'm really concerned about right now is seeing if we can get some cornerback depth, maybe some defensive tackle depth. Maybe we can bring Jack Pyburn back and have him come play. And you never know. There's some star players in there. But remember, we're not the only team that's going to get involved. If they can transfer, and right now, your Oregons and your Ohio States and your Georgias and your Ole Misses and your LSUs and all these other schools need players because of injuries that have occurred this offseason. Like, for example, Texas's starting left tackle just got hurt. They may need a left tackle. So if there is a good, solid player that's coming back or a player that's considering coming back, you never know what kind of talks they may have. And a lot of these talks are happening already. So let's just understand this. Week 0 is headed our way right now. Okay, come Monday morning, week 0 is here. The first college football game will be played this upcoming weekend. All right. So as your boy and I'm talking about me, as your boy gets on a cruise come the 28th or the 29th of August, and unfortunately has to do a freaking podcast from a boat. Okay. And doesn't return till after game 1, Clemson. I'm gonna be watching it from a boat. Nobody's talking to me that day. Me and my brother are gonna be sitting. Me, my brother, and my son, my mama, my stepdad, my little girl. They can all go and they can do something else. They can go swimming. They can do whatever they want. Come 6 o'clock Saturday, September the 5th. Don't bother me. I'll be talking to y'all and I'll be talking to that television. on a boat. They may have to kick me out. I ain't going to no captain's dinner. Okay. I'll be at watching LSU play. And if they turn the TV off, it's gonna be on the phone. I'm paying $50 for that Wi-Fi. So, but just so y'all know that we'll be back that week specifically. We won't have shows that weekend. I'm gonna try and get some pre-recorded content to post for you guys the weekend before that. And then we will be back first show probably Wednesday the 9th, that next upcoming week, to prepare for Louisiana Tech, which we will be doing a show with a tech podcaster as well. And every single week, the goal is to do a podcast with the opposing fan base to kind of build the culture around just college football. I think that's one thing that we need more is building community within our fan bases. We can talk, we can do crazy stuff, we can go back and forth and do whatever, but ultimately we do need to remind ourselves that hey, look, we're still people at the end of the day. So, and I want to go through this list really quick of the players, some of the players that are on this list of 16. So you have Xavier Harris, defensive lineman from Ole Miss, who already said he's entering the transfer portal. Ole Miss safety Wyatt Williams. I don't know what he's doing. You had Ole Miss's starting tight end Daquan Wright, who's coming back, probably going to enter the transfer portal. You never know where he might go. Okay. Um, James Madison linebacker Trent Hendrick, Oregon State running back Anthony Hankerson, Notre Dame defensive lineman Junior, South Carolina safety DQ Smith, and then you had another running back from SMU that's coming back as well. But you also have some of these NFL teams pushing back. They paid y'all signing bonuses. They paid y'all money. So some of these NFL teams and front offices may push back as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Hey, listen, man. This is what I'm gonna say too. You know, I want to show you some love because you are in here every single day. I know the times that I do shows here in the morning. We're gonna do a show tonight probably too because I need to just hit everybody. So you're always in here though. You're always in here commenting, being loyal, showing love. Um, and I need you to share the show. So if you do me a favor, take that link of the show, share it to a couple of your friends and family, have them come watch the show. I do it every day. I share the show, in case you missed it, yada yada yada. Um, and I love this comment, and I'm not going to say who it's from because I do not fuck with them at all, just to be honest with you. But Jack Pyburn's father says that his son feels he has unfinished business concerning his college career. He's maintained strong friendships with a couple of LSU players, and he's already played games for Blake Baker, so you never know what might happen with Jack Pyburn. He could be coming back to LSU, and I hope that he does. I think he's a great kid. I think he had a rough season last year because he was hurt a lot of the season, and I think that goes unseen. Um, so we need to be mindful of that. Um, no classes for Lenore Sellers this semester. He graduates in December, and his only school responsibility is an internship at a local driving range. That's crazy. So you're starting quarterback's gonna be hitting balls at hitting balls at the driving range. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, with that being said, guys, love y'all. Um, LSU has less than 3 weeks to get ready for Clemson. If we're being honest, they have 16 days before game one. Okay, 16 days. Danny Etling number of days before game one, and we're about to get it freaking popping. So this is the Fourth and Go podcast. I appreciate y'all being here. I know it was a short show. We're going to be back from our cruise. Um, we leave for Texas. I have to drive to Austin on the 27th, I believe, and we will be back from that cruise on I think it's technically Monday the 7th. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thanks to everybody that's watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe if you're not already. If you're watching on our X account, make sure that y'all go ahead and shoot us a follow. a lot of you guys watching don't follow us. You know, whenever I did a show with Joy the other day, it had 635 live viewers, and I didn't get 635 followers. So make sure y'all come show love. We're gonna be dropping some clips from our show with Joy today. Um, love Joy. She's great. Great personality in this LSU world. And we're gonna keep it rolling. So with that being said, y'all have a great day. Keep it pushing. Make sure that y'all go show love to your family and make sure that you praise the Lord as you get through your day. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have woken up today. So thank you guys. Love you. Have a great day. Peace.